G'day legends, it's no surprise that this weekend's main event is like stealing all of the headlines in the MMA media, right? You got Sean Strickland saying all the things that he is going to do to Khamzat Chimaev. You got Sean Strickland saying all the things that Khamzat Chimaev does to his wife and some of the farm animals that they might choose to keep around the house. And this is obviously very inflammatory, and it's hard to scroll past any MMA media without seeing anything but that information coming straight at your face. Massive pause. But having said all of that, there is actually a very interesting fight as well happening just before that, and that's Tatsuro Taira versus my man Joshua Van. Now, I'm a big fan of Joshua Van. You know, I love the strikers, and Joshua Van, one of the best boxers in the UFC. We recently just did on the live stream a top 15 best boxers in the UFC currently. None of us thought to even put Joshua Van in there, and you know, after refreshing yourself on Joshua Van this week, you really do go, are we all morons? Do we even watch this sport? Do we even know what the hell is going on around here? Like, Joshua Van's boxing is absolutely phenomenal. Why did we not bring him up during that entire tier list? I don't know what is wrong with us. But also something I noticed was Joshua Van and his takedown defense. It was really bloody good. In this fight here, the Ray Saruya fight. So I thought we'd take a moment and just look at the Ray Saruya fight. This is an amazing fight to watch Joshua Van scrambling in his hips. And I thought we'd just take a minute to break it down and see where Joshua Van might have some success as he goes in there against Tatsuro Taira. This is the first takedown entry here, and I want you to look at the way Sayura actually throws this takedown. He doesn't hide it behind anything. You know, we've done a lot of tape study recently on Khamzat Chimaev and the way that he likes to feint before he goes for his shots. And Ray Saruya just throws this one absolutely naked, but that is okay because the way that Joshua Van actually sprawls here and gets his hips straight back, he does it lightning fast, which is obviously super important for someone that wants to keep the fight in the standing range. This progresses on. Joshua Van is able to keep his legs underneath him and eventually shuck off Ray Saruya. This is the first of many failed takedown attempts for Ray Saruya. Now, he does land a bunch of them in this fight, but even when he does, Joshua Van is able to control his hips, pop them out the side. Let's take a look. Here we go here. Saruya about to set up yet another takedown on Joshua Van. There he goes, dives for the leg, and he actually uses the arm of Joshua Van to just throw him over and put him back onto bottom position. Now, on the clock, I know you can't see it, I had to hide it for copyright reasons, but on the clock, there's a minute left in this round one. And it's during a minute left that, you know, some fighters, like we just saw with Carlos Prates, they might choose to just stay and wait on bottom position. But Joshua Van has got one of those mindsets where he knows he needs to be able to constantly get back up to the feet. And he does that successfully right here. Gets his arms underneath him, pushes up on Ray Saruya, posts down with his hand, gets his hips out nice and far away, gets control of his hips again, gets on one knee, and then just pops right back up. It's great. As Ray Saruya is trying to find his base underneath him and go for the back, Joshua Van uses that momentum of Ray Saruya trying to flip his body around and go for his back there to stand back up, and instantly he is back right into striking range. Even though there's only 40 seconds left on the clock, Joshua Van is back and marching him down. Even when he jumps back up to the feet, he makes sure to throw a kick on the end of it. And this is where, as someone who is a striker like Joshua Van, this becomes so important, right? Like, we see so many times where the wrestler has top position and they're just holding their opponent down. But when you look at the actual scoring criteria of MMA, what we are actually trying to do here, impact with potential to contribute towards the end of the match, with immediate weighing in more heavily than the cumulative. You could really argue that if you are holding someone down for 3 minutes of the round, but they pop back up and they start to land shots with impact on you, they are the ones that are actually scoring towards finishing the fight. And this is what makes Joshua Van so good when he is in there against a wrestler. Yes, they might get off some control time on them. That is fine, but he is going to consistently fight to get back up and get back on his feet. And when he is fighting to get back up on his feet, he is ending that scramble with the shot, with some impact. He is putting actual scoring on the board, landing takedowns has to have the establishment of an attack from the use of the takedown, right? Like, if you are just going to be spamming takedowns at someone, you've actually got to be mounting an attack on them. And the entire time that you are trying to mount an attack on Joshua Van, he is scrambling from bottom position, consistently trying to get up. I mean, this is a perfect example of it. This is the perfect example of it, right? This is the end of round one. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. Joshua Van is still trying to build his base, still putting his hips up against the cage, still doing everything he can. And even with a couple of seconds left in the round, he is finishing his get-ups with big elbows over the top, making sure that he is putting impact on the board, making sure that he is scoring. And this is the last 10 seconds of the round. 2 seconds left, 1 second left. There you go. That's the end of the round. I mean, we just saw, like I said before, Carlos Prates at the end of the round. JDM is on top of him, and Carlos Prates is choosing to just hang out there. How many times do you see a striker, they get taken down, there might be a minute left on the clock, 40 seconds left on the clock, and they just accept position towards the end of the round? But Joshua Van does not have that mindset. Joshua Van's mindset is to continue to get back up. And that actually makes this fight very tricky and very hard to call, because you have got someone who understands the scoring criteria of MMA. You have got someone that is consistently scrambling to try and get back up to their feet. The question is, are they going to be able to do that against Tatsuro Taira? And here's the problem that I have with it. You see, Tatsuro Taira, he's a hell of a wrestler. A hell of a wrestler. Almost Aljamain Sterling-esque, the way that he can constantly go for the back. He's in there against Brandon Moreno. We've all seen Brandon Moreno's career. We've seen the scrambles. We've seen the way that he can wrestle with Davidson Figueiredo. And Tatsuro Taira still manages to be able to get the judo throw on Brandon Moreno, lay him flat on his back. Brandon Moreno is someone that knows how to scramble and knows how to handle it, tries to pop out of the bottom, gets his hips out, exactly what you should do from Brandon Moreno there, causes a bit of a buck, gets his hips out, but Tatsuro Taira stays on him. He's sticky and he's scrambly, and he instantly goes for the back and wraps the back up. And this is where things, as we know, start to go downhill really, really quickly from Brandon Moreno. And when you take a bit of a deep dive into Satoso Yumashimatos. No, when you take a bit of a deep dive into Tatsuro Taira's entire career, the Hong Song Park fight, he lands 4 out of 5 takedowns, 80% takedown accuracy. The Alex Perez fight, attempts 1 takedown, gets 1 takedown, 100% takedown accuracy. The Edgar Chavez fight, attempts 3 takedowns, lands 2 takedowns. The Jesus Aguilar fight, tries 1 takedown, lands 1 takedown. Unfortunately for Joshua Van, Tatsuro Taira ain't just a normal scrappy wrestler. He might have that Aljamain Sterling level of takedown pressure where he is constantly spamming them. And is Joshua Van good with his takedown defense? Does he understand sprawling? Does he see the shots coming at him? Yes, he does. Does he give up when he is on bottom? No, he doesn't. He stays scrambly. He keeps bucking. He is looking to throw up anything that will get those hips and that triangle underneath him so he can start to stand up back to his feet. Once he does stand up back to his feet, does he understand the scoring criteria of MMA and realize that you need to be doing impact? Yes, he does. He does. He understands all of these things. But is it going to be enough to stop the almost unstoppable takedown of Tatsuro Taira when we look back at his fights? If he attempts 3 takedowns, he lands 2 of them. If he attempts 1, he lands 1 of them. Like, he gets them to the ground. Is the scrambles of Joshua Van going to be enough over the 25 minutes for Tatsuro Taira? I still don't think it is. I'm still going to be picking Tatsuro Taira. It's a lot closer than I originally thought it was going to be. You know, when this fight was first made, my heart broke. Loved Joshua Van. Went, unfortunately, Tatsuro Taira is just going to wrap him up. I go back. I re-educate myself. I get the receptors going again. And I go, actually, you know what? It's going to be a little bit closer than I think. It's going to be a little bit closer than I think. But still, I think Tatsuro Taira rips him to shreds on the back. I do think we see a rear naked choke, a neck crank. I think we see our new champion, Tatsuro Taira. And then hopefully Alexandre Pantoja can come back and have a crack at Tatsuro Taira himself and see if he can win the belt back At such an old age, it's such a lightweight class. I mean, honestly, who knows? But that's it, boys. That's my thoughts going into the co-main event. If this is your first time here, g'day, welcome. My name is Dougie. I do MMA content all the bloody time, and I go live all the time as well. If you want to be around when the new video drops or when I go live, hit that subscription bell and that notification button down there. A big thank you to all the bloody legends of the channel. Your support means so much to me. I appreciate every single one of you guys. A huge well done to all the top 10 pickers in the Dougie's Corner live stream community. And until then, boys, I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one. Goodbye.